share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlasting Items. Will be joined by Mams Taylor of Misfits Boxing. We're here in Sheffield. It's the Zone X Series. It's number 2 after a fantastic fight night a couple of months out with KSI. Not fighting 1 but 2 opponents in the end. First of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. So, yeah, it's the second fight night. How with Shirley's versus Jay Swindler of TGF. How did this one come about?
Well, we were excited to get Jay to come back, and he showed a lot of promise in his fight with Gibb, and he's got that fighting spirit. So approached him a while ago, and then had to find a suitable opponent for his return fight. And Sherdley's was very game, very quickly, and he's a very mysterious character. I think he's been training very hard, but he's playing it off like really cool. So I'm curious to see how that goes down. It's going to be a good fight. Be fun.
Yeah, kind of. Jay's been talking in the build-up to this as he was out of shape. He didn't take it seriously for Gibb, and kind of Gibb at the minute is the money fight. Everyone's calling out Addison Gibb. So obviously, I don't know your plans if you are working with Gibb in the future, but is that a fight you would like to make, that rematch, because he's been calling for it?
I think where there's demand with the fans, we try and supply what they want, and that's what it is. Let's see, one step at a time. Gibb's done really well. Obviously, coming off that stunning victory against McBroom, it's really kind of, he's in a position where he can kind of pick who he wants to fight at this point, and Jay is probably going to have a couple more fights before that fight makes a lot of sense, but he can certainly do it.
Is it your plan then to get Gibb on one of these cards?
Pardon?
Is it your plan to get Gibb on one of these cards?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got a good relationship with his manager, Liam, and we'd love to have Gibb come to Misfits and put on a show, most competitive fights out there for him. I think we're on our roster, so I think it makes sense.
Another big fight that I think probably the most people are talking about is Ryan Taylor versus Slim. Slim's kind of come from nowhere, slowly building, and himself as a reputable boxer in this whole influencer circle, and Ryan Taylor, we all know how charismatic he is, really building the fight. That's going to be an interesting one Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it's the fan favourite. The fans are really, really excited. There's a genuine beef between them. There's a genuine disdain. They've got history, and it's time to settle that history,
Tom Zanetti, he's behind us doing his public workout, and a big name that's not just in the YouTube or TikTok world. He's kind of a well-renowned artist. So how big is that to have for you to have on your roster? He's passionate about it. He spoke to me about it. This is not just a one-time thing for him. He wants big fights.
And I think he's got a bright future here. He's taking it very seriously. He's got the personality. He's got the gift of the gab. I think he's exactly what Misfits is all about. He comes from a music background. We welcome anyone from any kind of different background that makes sense in the entertainment space. So, I think there'll be more and more of that as well. And YouTube and social media will always be the core of the crossover boxing space. But I think we're going to see more and more of other entertainers coming to the space as well.
Talk to me about KSI then. Obviously, he plays a big part in the Misfits promotion. I think he's going to be here tomorrow and throughout fight week, as I believe. How involved is he in the process of making these cards?
In making the cards, I do the matchmaking, but I always sit down with him and say, what do you think of this? So he really kind of gives all his input onto every aspect. He's very excited to put his energy into this, and it was our brainchild together where we said, let's actually provide a platform for other YouTubers to grow a profile, to generate an interest, and we can see that fans are interested, but it's so far been a hobby watch, you know, and now it's becoming something that we're providing consistent programming for, you know.
So you say you're the matchmaker in this. What names are we looking at for KSI then? We know he wants to be out early next year. What kind of name are we looking at for maybe a potential mega fight late next year?
I know we're going to have Jake Paul 2023. So that's the goal for next year.
Is that his next fight, or do you think he'll have one before that?
Well, he's going to have another one or two before that, or maybe even just the one. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes negotiations and stuff that's not always straightforward. So we'll get there, though. We're determined. We want that fight. So.
Do you think we'll see KSI fighting in the UK next time out, or do you think we'll see it go abroad? We know with the Hasse Rackman versus Victor Belfort, this is a global company. So is KSI staying in the UK, or is he going to pursue the US for the Jake Paul fight?
KSI is international. You know, his home base is here, his heart is here with, you know, where he lives, but at the end of the day, he loves his US fans as well, and even other international fights as well we'd be looking at down the line in the future.
Finally, I've got to ask you, last time out, there's kind of a bit of beef with Joe Weller going on. It was a very strange watch. I think I thought you looked a bit awkward, I'll be honest. Joe looked even more awkward. From your perspective, what happened there on that DAZN broadcast?
I was coming in basically just to, you know, I was being mouthy, but I wasn't like expecting quite the reaction he gave. So I was like, oh shit, you know, and we just got into it, but I don't think Joe is interested in really fighting anyone at the moment, you know. Definitely not a good thing for him to fight me in a car park, but at least they don't steroid test in the car parks though. I'm joking.
We'll save that one for a different interview. But just as far as that goes with Joe Weller then, because he is a massive name in the influencer box, and he was the one who kind of started this. You could call him a pioneer with KSI. Surely, putting beef aside, you'd love to work with him.
Listen, if Joe Weller wants to fight, he's been offered a couple of opportunities from us. Well, he's very welcome. All jokes aside, listen, and outside of the persona, I'm sure he's a lovely boy as well. I don't really have a beef or a hatred for anyone. And if anything, when that kind of thing happens on your show, it's great, you know. So there's no hard feelings, and I'm just like, if he wants to fight, he's definitely got a home at Misfits, you know.
So we could see Mams versus Joe Weller in 2023 headlining Misfits.
Oh, sure. I don't think it's a headline fight, but but yeah, I'm game. But at the end of the day, I think there's fights that fans would rather see, and you know, if Joe's interested in returning back, and yes, he has to. We have to give him his flowers. He was involved in the first ever fight, so he did massively influence it in that regard. You know. Yeah, taking nothing away from that. That's all.
Excellent. I look forward to hearing you throughout the rest of the week. Surely going to be interesting, and look forward to a good fight night on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for speaking to IFL.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife and saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.